Well, the horrific scene, as Sheriff Chris Nacco described it, leaving many people with questions tonight. The first being, how could something like this happen? The sheriff saying today Jason Rios was a paranoid schizophrenic who may have been using drugs at the time. Well, joining me now is Dr. Stacey Scheckner, a licensed clinical psychologist. So, Stacey, let's start with maybe a more general question. If you have a family member who has a mental illness and you think they could get violent, what can you do to help that person?
The immediate thing that you need to do is call 911. If you think that you're in pending danger or anyone is in danger, you call 911. You could also call our local Tampa Bay crisis hotline at 411, and they would be able to help you. Now, if you feel you have a member of your family who has a mental illness but is not violent, you actually need to try to get them some professional help by going to your primary caretaker or go to Psychology Today, put in your zip code, and try to find a professional specific to the symptoms that you're seeing and get them some help.
Now, what if they don't want help? And we don't know that that is what this situation is, but what can you do to protect the family then?
If they do not want help, there's nothing you can do. You cannot control them. You cannot force them. You need to tell other family members and friends exactly what's going on so they can create boundaries. And you also need to get help yourself. If you find a mental health professional such as myself and go in and explain the history and what's going on, we can then help you and give you the tools to protect yourself and loved ones.
2 children were injured today in a pretty horrific manner. What do we say to our children to try to explain, first of all, how something like this could happen, and why?
First of all, I would minimize their ability to watch the media depending on the age and their developmental state of mind. But if they do catch on to it and hear it, you want to let them vent. You want to empathize and validate with what's going on and reflect their feelings. And then what you want to say is, just like we have a dentist for our teeth and we have eye doctors for our eyes, we have mental health professionals such as counselors who help people like this. And we have teachers and school administrators watching out for people like this to get them the help so that this rarely does happen.
Dr. Scheckner, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.